Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a wise and respected king. He had ruled for many years with fairness and kindness. His people loved him, and his kingdom prospered under his reign. But as the years passed, the king grew old and frail, and he knew the time had come to choose a successor who would rule after him. The king had 3 sons, Arjun, Balram, and Charan, each smart and capable in his own way. Arjun, the eldest, was hardworking and loved nature, spending hours outdoors tending to gardens and trees. Balram, the middle son, was clever with money and business, often thinking about trade and wealth. Charan, the youngest, was quiet, observant, and thoughtful, often lost in deep reflection while others busied themselves. The king loved all 3 dearly, but he could not decide which one should take the throne after him. He thought hard and came up with a test that would reveal who among them possessed true wisdom. One bright morning, the king called his 3 sons to the royal garden. The air was fresh, the sun was shining, and the court gathered around to witness the important moment. Servants appeared carrying 3 small velvet pouches, one for each prince. The king smiled warmly and said, "My sons, the time has come for me to choose who will rule this kingdom. Leadership is not only about strength or cleverness, it is about wisdom, patience, and understanding. Inside these pouches are special seeds. I want you each to take a pouch, care for the seeds as you see fit, and return to me after 3 months to show what you have done. The one who shows the greatest wisdom will inherit the throne." The princes bowed respectfully and accepted the pouches. The entire court buzzed with excitement and curiosity, wondering how the young men would approach this challenge. Arjun, the eldest, immediately set to work. He gathered the best gardeners in the kingdom, chose the finest patch of land near the palace, and prepared the soil with care. He planted the seeds gently, watered them daily, made sure they received the perfect amount of sunlight, and protected them from pests. Every morning, without fail, he visited the garden, tending to the small plots with great dedication. In his heart, he believed that his hard work and discipline would make his father proud. Balram, the second prince, had a different idea. He thought to himself, "Seeds are meant to grow food or sell for profit. Why wait for months when I can show father my ability to generate wealth for the kingdom?" Without much delay, he went to the market, sold the seeds to a merchant for a hefty price, and used the gold coins to buy fine fabrics, rare spices, and precious stones. In a few weeks, he had doubled his wealth. Proud of his cleverness, Balram believed he had proven himself as the best future king by showing his skills in trade and profit-making. Charan, the youngest, sat quietly in his chamber, staring at the seeds. Something felt unusual. He observed them carefully, noticing that they had no fragrance, no softness, and no spark of life. Seeds, he knew, should have some sign of growth when cared for, but something about these seeds told him otherwise. He thought, why would father give us seeds if it was only about planting them? Is there something deeper here? Instead of planting them or selling them, Charan chose to observe and wait. Every day he would open the wooden box where he had safely kept the seeds, studying them, feeling them, and thinking deeply. Weeks passed, and he noticed that the seeds remained exactly the same. No growth, no change. He realized that the seeds had been boiled. Boiled seeds lose their ability to grow. No matter how much care they receive, they will never sprout. Meanwhile, word spread through the kingdom about the 3 princes. People praised Arjun's garden, admired Balram's wealth, and mocked Charan's seeming laziness. Some whispered, "How can a prince who does nothing hope to rule?" Others laughed. Charan must be the most foolish of them all. But Charan paid no attention to the gossip. In his heart, he trusted his understanding and waited patiently for the day of judgment. 3 months passed quickly, and the entire kingdom gathered once again in the royal court. Ministers, generals, merchants, and villagers filled the hall, eager to see which prince had earned the right to be king. Arjun went first. He proudly led the king to the garden he had created. The land was full of small plants, though the king noticed that many looked sickly. Their leaves were yellow, their stems thin and weak. Arjun bowed and said with confidence, "Father, see the garden I have grown with my hard work and care. Surely my efforts prove that I am ready to lead." The king nodded thoughtfully, but remained silent. Next came Balram, carrying with him a grand chest overflowing with gold coins, precious jewels, and luxurious goods. Standing tall, he declared, "Father, I have turned the seeds into riches for the kingdom. Imagine what I could achieve as king, managing wealth and expanding our prosperity." The crowd clapped and cheered, thinking Balram was sure to win. Finally, Charan stepped forward, carrying a small wooden box. He approached the king calmly and opened it to reveal the same pouch of seeds, untouched and unplanted. A wave of laughter spread through the court. "He has done nothing," some cried. "What a shame," others said. But Charan remained calm, bowing deeply before his father. The king asked, "My son, why have you brought back the seeds without planting them or doing anything with them?" Charan looked up and answered, "Father, when you gave us these seeds, I sensed something unusual. I observed them daily. I waited and watched, but there was no sign of life. Eventually, I realized that the seeds had been boiled. They were dead. They could never grow, no matter how much care I gave them. Planting them would have been meaningless. Selling them would have been dishonest. So I chose to keep them safe, just as you had given them to me, and bring them back to you untouched. I believed this test was not about appearances, but about understanding and honesty." The court fell silent. The ministers, generals, and villagers who had mocked Charan now looked at him with newfound respect. The king's eyes shone with pride. He stood and declared loudly, "My people, leadership is not about blindly working hard or cleverly making profits. It is about seeing the truth, being patient, and staying honest, even when the world laughs at you." Arjun worked hard but did not recognize the truth. Balram made profit but valued gold more than honesty. Only Charan understood the reality and acted with wisdom. Therefore, Charan will be the next king. The people cheered for Charan, and from that day forward, he ruled the kingdom with fairness, kindness, and great wisdom. Under his leadership, the kingdom grew even more prosperous, not just in wealth, but in happiness and peace. The lesson of the three princes became famous far and wide. People remembered that true wisdom lies not in appearances, not in rushing to prove oneself, but in patient observation, deep understanding, and unwavering honesty. Sometimes in life, others may laugh at you for the choices you make. They may call you foolish for doing what is right. But if you know in your heart that you are standing on the side of truth, then you must be patient and keep moving forward. The world may not understand you at first, but time and always reveals the wisdom of those who stay true to themselves.